Okay, I think we made it. Hello again.
Welcome.
There we go. Good to go. You good over there?
I think so.
Sweet. All right. Welcome, everybody. Hope everybody's had a great weekend. I know we've been busy little boogers. We finally had the last of our my birthday celebrations, our Christmas presents. I think every ticket that we've bought in the last year has come due in the last month between birthdays and Christmases and everything. So we've been weekend after weekend, it seems like, doing stuff. So now we won't leave the house for the next 6 months. So we'll be good. We'll be good. But we're ready to jump in. We got a lot of good stuff tonight. We've had some revelations in our chemistries that we're learning a lot on that we want to share with you guys and help you. So come in. Let's start with beginners, first of all. Anybody, and Barb, you're still in the beginning. Wilma, where are you? Janet, are you still in beginning steps?
Yeah,
I think is. Mary Kay's rocking it. She knows what she's doing.
She's a veteran.
Jill, we're going to put you with the beginners, or we're going to pull you back over the hump. So we're going to get you. We're going to get you going. Jill knows how to do it.
An old beginner.
So sometimes we all are.
We all are. We all got to meet life where it can take us, or where we're at, and then we'll take us on that journey and get us going. So sometimes you got to do that. But I want to encourage you to jump in and commit to yourself, because I know you're a caregiver. I know you worry about everybody else, but I want you to worry about your health too. So let's make you a priority and move you forward so we can help you get over the humps and get you on track. Because once that chemistry starts rolling, it's amazing. We're learning a lot this week, really. 2 different levels of chemistries. So it's one of those things we want to share with you of what's going on. Barb, I know you're beginning, so let's talk beginners first. Janet, you're pretty much, where are you? You started over too, didn't you?
I started over. I'm not beginners anymore. I'm in fasting.
Okay, so then you are a little more advanced than I remember. I don't
my
have my notes in front of me.
Yeah, my chemistry kicked in.
Okay, good.
It feels great. Yeah.
Okay, so what we're going to talk on a little bit of the people that are still at those beginning phases, that you're not into fasting yet, that we are still at the beginning. We're going to start on that end this morning or this evening. We're going to go there because I'm going to show you what we've learned, and we've come to some realizations, which was startling for us. We've been 4 years on this journey and we never stop learning and understanding the chemistry. It keeps changing. And we've had some huge changes lately that we both are trying to kick in and understand. And of course, Lance and I eat almost the exact same things, but our chemistry are total polar opposites. So it's kind of a neat learning experience to be able to put this chemistry together for the two of us. So you guys can all learn on where does your body fit in between our 2 spectrums. And where can we help you with that? So beginners, we keep talking about those first few steps. You have to get those fat-based hormones happy before we push you forward. So what we're trying to do in that, and right now at the beginning, we make sure everybody is under 20 carbs. As far under 20 carbs as you can get is going to make your process that much easier, that much faster, that much stronger. So that being said, we got that down pat. We know we're under 10 carbs, usually under 5 carbs, but we know we've got that part down pat. We're good with that. Move that forward a little bit. We started kind of checking because Lance is reaching his weight goal. You know, he's reaching all those goals. My daughter-in-law is reaching goals. Yes, good job for Lance. Good job for Bug. We got other people in the group that are reaching those goals. Lance's dad is 82. He's reached all his goals and health goals and everything. So it's one of those things, the chemistry shift now changes. For those of us that still have weight to lose, still have the process to do, just because he's reached his goals does not mean he's done healing. So it doesn't mean you just get to sit back and say, woohoo, he's there. He still has to do the work. And through the years of getting to this point, I'm the one that's been super sensitive. Lance could kind of half-ass it a little bit and still get the results. Now we're flip-flop. I'm the one that's getting a little bit, because I'm just riding that fat wave right now. I'm living off my own fat. I'm not hungry all the time. I'm doing well. Lance, on the other hand, has hit that mode of he's hungry, like it's kicking in. He's losing energy, things that just hasn't been normal for him. You know, even since his surgery, it's went weird. So we're trying to backtrack, trying to learn from it. What are we doing wrong? First of all, you go back to the basics. So the first few people in the first few steps, you're building that chemistry. You're getting those fat-based hormones happy. Jill, same thing we need to do with you. We need to get those fat-based hormones happy. Barb, you too. Alex, probably same thing. You know, all the people that are still coming down those first 6, 7 steps of keto continuum, you're getting those fat-based hormones happy first. Okay. So we go back to the basics and we go to our chronometer and we bring up chronometer. And of course, because we got a little cocky and a little sure of ourselves because we eat the same thing over and over and over, we quit tracking. And lesson learned, because at the beginning, you can overindulge a little bit on that protein. You can overindulge on the fats. You can as long as those carbs are down, that's that big churning session that you're trying to get moving. Now, whereas weight is there, he doesn't have a lot of storage for fat for fuel. I could probably fast for a month and never starve to death. He, on the other hand, doesn't have a whole lot. So his chemistry is changing really, really bad. So when we went back to chronometer, what we're finding out is we start tracking. And we've been trying to woe back on our protein. We don't need, the 2-pound ribeyes we used to get that we used to pound down like there was no tomorrow. Now we're having to woe that in because we've got the carbs under 20, check, good to go on that one. Down like there was no tomorrow. Then we went to making sure, we got enough protein, but we overindulged a little bit doing our carnivore thing. We would get the one big meal a day in us. But what we're checking now is making sure the fats are enough. And it seemed like he's dropping fuel, he's dropping energy. And when we started rechecking our chronometer again, we realized he's nowhere near enough fat because he's up and moving again. He's getting ready, he's getting ready to go to therapy and back to work since the surgery and everything, but there's nowhere near enough fat going in him. So we wanted to show some experiments because this is what we had to start tracking over the last few days, trying to pour fats in my poor hubby's body because his skinny little butt don't have enough anymore. My daughter-in-law, she's getting the same way. She looks like a 10-year-old again because she doesn't have a whole lot of reserves left. So everybody that's getting that close, and now that our group is growing and we've been going for this long, we're getting people that are totally reaching those goals. I am not one of them yet, but take it away. Tell much.
And just know, beginners, this is something that this journey you're going to constantly have to go back and forth and change and look at and then reevaluate and change again. And because your body is going through so many changes, don't get discouraged if your body says it gets to a point and you notice through tracking your numbers that you're not hitting your goals like you want to.
Or you're not feeling like you used to.
Feeling like you used to. Exactly. That is your body telling you, hey, pay attention. Something's not quite right. So in your new steps to get acquainted with your body and read your body, track your numbers, all that kind of thing, this is what you get to. And we are way far down the line. I am way far in my chemistry journey, so don't freak out. But and we're just going through this experiment right now because I am not getting the energy I need. So
and Tim, Tim, also this may apply
Tim
to
and
you,
Kim, yeah.
Tim and Kim, because you guys
Mary
are getting,
Kay.
Yeah, Mary Kay. There's listen to it, Bug, I know it's kicking in on everything, but listen to how many people this chemistry shift is going to start affecting as you're reaching those goals. And I know, Tim, you're getting there and you still need to hit the fasting to get that deep healing in, but along with that deep healing and that fasting in there, we still got to keep we got to keep the nutrient. And this is a fat-based diet, not a protein-based diet.
She said the key word there. It's fat-based. We've trained our bodies to go from being a carb burner and a sugar burner to now we're burning fat. So when we did that in the beginning, I had fat left. I had fat storage. I had, fat on me, in my cells, everywhere. So that started to bring that all out, and I'm going to use that for energy. And I was, a fart in a frying pan, like she said. As I used that energy, then I started dropping weight. Then I started dropping inches. Then my fat stores came down. Now I'm to the point where my fat stores are about empty, or they're getting to that point where my body says, hey man, I need some fat intake. That way you can have energy. That way you can continue to get your numbers very good. So that's where we decided to start tracking this in
So
chronometer.
can everybody open up chronometer? Does anybody have if you have your phone handy, if not, it's no big deal. Bring up chronometer. Everybody should have your fat filled, your weight filled out, your age filled out, all that kind of stuff by now in chronometer. When you look at your chronometer, look at how many grams of fat comes up on the very top part where it tells you where your stuff is. Bring that up where you can see how many fat grams you're supposed to have. Give me some numbers. If you have it up on it, tell me what your fat gram number is supposed to be.
And go ahead and shout it out. Unmute and
unmute
shout it
and
out.
shout it out, guys.
234.1.
Okay.
234. That's a
Like,
lot.
like my child.
234 grams. Mine is 260.
Mine's
So-
100.
Yours is 100.
100.
I'll trade you.
No, I don't think you want it.
No.
150.
150.
150. Okay.
Good. Okay, Barb, what's yours? Oh, hang on. We got you muted. Got to unmute first.
I'm trying to figure out where to see that. I'm seeing my today's thing.
Hit,
How do I
This is
get
the-
back
The
to,
last
today's-
one on today.
if you can hit
What?
diary,
yeah,
it'll bring
It's
you up.
not- I'm hitting diary and it's not going
Does it
out.
have the date at the top of the page?
Yes,
Then one of these right at the top, you can swipe right or left.
You should see either circles or a bar. Circles would be like this. If you see
Yeah.
that,
don't see that.
you can scroll
Barb.
sideways.
If you see my screen, it might look like this.
Yeah. Here's Alex's.
Hours,
As you can see, I'm in trouble because I'm not tracking.
Hey,
right?
I'm right with you. So that's our lesson for the day because we're all in the same boat.
But
As you see,
anyway,
mine is okay. So
Point being-
point being, we literally start tracking fat. We have made it such a point to make sure we're under those carbs. Most of us on here are roughly carnivore, but by carnivore, like Dr. Boss says, that means fat. So we put the importance on getting those carbs down. We put the importance on getting good, healthy, clean proteins in you. But when you look at how much fat, we were not paying enough attention. So this is my fault too. We've done the same thing. So here's Lance's examples.
I only am allowed 73 grams of protein a day, and I have to have 260 grams of fat. Just so you guys know, I poured a quarter cup of olive oil. Okay, that's a quarter cup. That's 4 tablespoons. This 4 tablespoons or quarter cup only has 54.5 grams of fat, according to chronometer. I need 260 grams of fat a day.
Start drinking.
So that almost leaves me with 5 of these quarter teaspoon cups just to get, or quarter cups or 4 teaspoons. 5 of those, or 4 tablespoons. I need 5 of these a day to get my fat intake if I don't get it anywhere else. That much. Or
So
another one.
here's the other one. We all turn to our Kerry Gold butter. We love our Kerry. Well, we use Aldi's Virgin.
We use Aldi's version,
cheap.
but it's the same thing. This butter is an 8-ounce brick. Okay. Half of that is 4 ounces. 4 ounces is 89.9 grams of fat. 89.1 gram of fat. The whole bar is 178.2 grams of fat. I need a bar and a half, a brick and a half of this to equal what I need for fat per day.
So those are all just, we're showing you that to show you what an example that even us as veterans of 4 years in the program slacked off keeping track, because we all do it. Nobody wants to track your crap. It sucks. We all know that. But sometimes you got to do that checklist of go back to the basics and figure out, this is the beauty of the program, that we can read our body. We know what's working and what's not. And you know when something needs tweaked. And when something needs tweaked, you go back to the basics. So chronometers are basic. We go back to chronometer and find out we ain't even close.
Now
Even
here's-
with bacon.
Here's the kicker. With only being allowed 7, I got to reduce my protein. Okay. Because if not, if I go over, at my chemistry where I'm at now, let me clarify that. Where I'm at now with my chemistry, if I go over like I was going close, I was going 200%
On protein.
on my proteins.
And we can get away with that for a while. So just know that too. At the beginning, it's not as important. You can get away with that for a little bit to try to keep him full and get his chemistry shifting. Not the way it's supposed to be done forever, but sometimes that helped him.
But until I got my chemistry where I'm at now, I can't go over on my proteins. So my protein is only allowed to be 73 grams per day. That's 8 ounces of a ribeye now, not a 16-ounce ribeye, not, the 2-inch ribeye, or 8 ounces of bacon. That's it. That's not what I was doing before. Usually I was just eating the meat until I was full, but I'm at the point now where that meat, that protein wasn't getting me full because it didn't have a high enough fat content. With my protein being at 73 and my fat being at 260, I'm almost a 3-to-1 ratio. I need 3 times as much fat in that one amount of protein. So every chance I get, if I have a gram of protein, I need to have 3 grams of fat on top of it. And it's right now we're struggling to get that amount of fat in me. But last week I got close on my numbers. I really tracked my numbers hard, and it made my 72-hour fast easy. So it does matter the amount of fat that you get in.
And that's different for every person. As you put your chemistry and chronometer, that reading is going to be specific for your body and your chemistry. I can't say, because I'm this weight, I need this much. It goes on your activity. It goes on your chemistry. All of those things are going to be figured in that. So your chemistry on your chronometer, again, is why it's so important to make sure you're tracking. Make sure, and even us veterans that have gotten off track or, just need to tweak it. We've made progress. I'm losing inches again. My pounds come so slow, but I am condensing. My clothes are getting bigger. I can feel the difference. So it's time to check my chemistry again, see what's going on. Where can I tweak it? I have to tweak one way where I used to have to be so sensitive. I swear if I walked past a car, it jumped on me. Now I'm being able to just ride the wave right now. I don't go outside my eating window. We don't mess around, anything like that, but we just stay pretty tight in there. He's getting to the point, even the LMNTs with the stevia in it.
I'll throw this out there to everybody tonight.
He used to be able to drink these.
I used to be able to drink these. This is the citrus. This is my favorite flavor. And this was the experiment that I was going through. And I didn't really want to say to anybody why. This now, the element now, and any of the flavors are giving me a glucose response. So now they're spiking my glucose because of my chemistry is where it's at now. Now I can't have those.
Now I think we're almost so clean and so far down this track that it's now affecting him different than it used to.
So I have my black coffee and salt. I have my soda stream water, or I'll have my salt water. That's about it.
So it's the whole learning experience in this that we've been able to take away from this in the last week is we all have to. It doesn't matter if we're beginners or advanced. We've got to always remember what these basics are. And anybody that is struggling, I know even Jill, Alex, some of the veterans that are on here that are still struggling to get over some of those humps. I always say, go back to the place you were most comfortable and can sustain it properly.
Hey, Lance, I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you expect to ever be able to use the flavored stuff again? Or are you just writing it off? And the only reason I ask is there's living and then there's living. And I know it's a happy balance, and I know
Absolutely.
you guys are
Yeah, it is a balance. And I at some point I may, but I may not as well. I mean, I like the way I feel right now. I like the results that I see. I know that I'm healthier. Yeah. May I once in a blue moon, probably I will go back to that. But at that point, it's going to be a choice again. I know I threw out a lot of things there of, what I can't have and what I'm doing now, but I also am under the mindset of I want to sustain where I'm at. So I want to continue on. If my numbers show that I'm able to do that, I may. But again, that's a choice.
But again, part of the flexibility of this program, the
You-
whole goal is to become more metabolically flexible. That you'll recover faster. You know, what's something that would take us, you know, takes me sometimes weeks or months to recover from a celebration moment. My body does not recover fast because of the damage. He, not being as damaged as I was, he may have a faster recovery and be able to go back and say, you know what,
And then
one of those might be worth it once
if
in a
I
while.
do have an element, it will, like if I have that whole packet in my 40-ounce water, which is pretty diluted, but you know, you can still taste it. You know what I mean? Tomorrow my number will spike. I'll notice that in the morning. Then the next morning, it will come back down.
He'll
So
recover.
my recovery is a little bit better. But then again, still, I'm like, is it worth it for that one day of spiking?
And
You know,
it's yeah. No, I'm sorry, and I don't mean to monopolize. It's because you know what I'm going through, you guys. It is getting used to normal. Like I tell people all the time, I suck on salt rocks and they think they're nuts, and I've actually just come accustomed to it.
I could see your face when I'm starting to tell you what I can't and can't have, and I can see you thinking down the path of, oh God, I'm not going to be able to
You
have
know exactly what I'm
anything.
thinking about. Is those damn sardines, and I got to put them in the eggs, and you guys keep yelling at me about it, and I will this week. I promise. I'll even take a picture for you.
But it's where you want to be. I mean, we're still at one meal a day. We fast 3 days a week. We do a 72-hour fast every week. That's our choice. That's what we want to do. I'm going to do it as long as she wants to do it to get healthy, to meet her goals. And then we may reevaluate at that point when she meets her goals. I know that I'm meeting my goals right now. Anything I get extra is going to be a bonus. So when she gets there, then we may reevaluate. We may go to 2 meals a day, or we may stick with 1 meal a day and just cut out fasting until, you know, we get to a point where, oh, we need to clean up again. Maybe we'll jump back into fasting. So that, I mean, it's all, you get to be flexible with it. But I think there's a lot of us now that are getting to the point where I am, where I'm hitting my goals, where my metabolism has changed so much that necessarily Dr. Boz doesn't cover that right now. She gets you to the process and the way to do it. But once you get to this part that we're going through, or that I'm going through, then it gets it gets serious, because then now you have to really concentrate on the fat. I mean, you really have to concentrate on the fat, because if I don't get the proper amount of fat, I mean, I was only getting like 50 grams of fat through my normal meals. And she would, 2 hours after we eat, she would be like, I'd be like, I'm starving. She says, there is no way you can be starving. I said, I'm starving. I'm telling you.
Then it's at that moment when somebody has that
kept
feeling.
going, and we bicker about it. And then, you know, finally we got to the point, well, let's track it. Let's get back and let's find out.
Something changed.
And when we put it in there, we were like, whoa, that's what's going on.
Again, I have another question for you. Since you have to eat, and we're similar in the sense of so much fat, and there's a lot of people that have to eat that much fat. One, what is your window normally? And two, I know I'm asking dumb. I'm asking.
You're being.
This is perfect. Throw it out
What
there.
is your crazy window? Because knowing you guys, it's like probably a half hour. I'm joking when I say that. And what is that typical meal that you're getting that 200 and something, since you have to have that stick of, and I'm looking in my kitchen right now. I mean, I love eggs, but that's a lot of friggin' butter for one.
Yeah, that's a lot of friggin' butter. I don't
I
care.
mean, and again, I love you guys to death. I can't wait to meet you, but
yeah, actually, we try to stick to that 1 hour eating window. We do OMAD, and in that 1 hour eating window, I did the 4 tablespoons of avocado oil. Then I put probably,
First of all, every bite going in his mouth, is scooping the fat.
Some kind of fat into my mouth.
Because what's left in the plate and what's left in his bowl that he has measured it out, he drank.
I drank it.
So I will give him all the credit in the world.
So I did the 4 tablespoons of the avocado oil. I probably put in a 1/4 stick of butter in that. I put that in a bowl in the microwave, kind of heated it up, stirred it up. That way the butter's melted with the avocado oil. Then I poured that over some chicken that I grilled in bacon grease because we were cooking bacon at the same time. So I threw the grease from the bacon onto the chicken, kind of marinated it in there. So I got the bacon grease in there. I got the butter in there. I got the avocado oil in there.
Some bacon.
A couple pieces of bacon.
And we had jowls.
I did a pork jowl. Boy, them are good. It's about that thick, and it's nothing but fat and a little bit of bacon around the edge. Beautiful. So I did one of those, a couple pieces of bacon, I'd probably say 4 or 6 ounces of chicken, maybe 8 ounces of chicken, if that, chicken breast. And then I put your guys's Alfredo, keto Alfredo sauce on it that had butter and all kinds of other stuff.
Another thing we've used a lot this week was hollandaise sauce.
Yes, hollandaise sauce.
Has anybody made that? It is so easy. I never realized how easy it was to make. Also, it's just egg yolks and butter.
Egg yolks is another one, Alex. Don't
separate. No, I eat a lot of eggs, but
separate the yolk.
Separate them so you're not getting the higher protein, but you'll get the higher fat.
If you just take the yolk, you get rid of the protein part.
So, and again, I'm going back to the original Dr. Boz, Any Way You Can / Keto Continuum, where she's like, buy 3 dozen eggs or whatever.
Yep.
So what you're doing at this level, because I'm like in between, I know where I am and I know where I should be kind of level. And I'm sorry again for dominating this conversation.
No, you're fine.
What on a typical, are you talking, because I usually have five eggs with butter and a thing called Taylor ham, which most of the other country doesn't have, but it's like pork roll or whatever. It's got like 5,000 grams of fat in it. But my point being is you're saying just use heavy cream, egg yolks, and
we don't use much heavy cream. We got a little bit of heavy cream this weekend for a treat, but we've been switching to the nut pods and cut out the heavy cream just because.
I'm sorry, I forgot. I'm not familiar with that again.
I'll go get one, but
the heavy cream was giving me a response, and it was my treat every day after my fast. I would go and have the heavy cream in my coffee, and I gave that up probably when the last time we went down to Dr. Boz. I gave it up, and my numbers have been so much better without that heavy cream. So there's something in my body that doesn't like the dairy, the cream. So I've switched to the nut pods, which is a almond and coconut cream.
Okay, yeah. Okay, is it liquid or is it just?
It's liquid.
Okay.
You can grab one.
Yeah, I'll go grab one. The other thing too is all the oils, the olive oil, the coconut oil, the avocado oil.
Make sure you're getting good fats.
Good fats.
At this point, nobody should have a vegetable oil. Nobody should have a canola oil, no seed oils. At this point, those should all be eliminated out of your house. That should not even be an option. Even if your family's not doing keto, that should not be an option. If they're having oils, you want them to have healthy, good olive oils, avocado oils, all those kind of things. The good, healthy butter, no margarine. We're way past that stage. But these are the ones I order off of Amazon. Now, Target does have a bigger bottle of it, but these are shelf stable and they come from Amazon and they deliver them on my doorstep.
And how much ounces do you normally?
This is 11.2 ounces. They do make a bigger one. I think.
Well, I meant when you're cooking, usually. I know it's like for eggs or whatever.
It's same equivalent, but it's 0 carbs for a tablespoon.
Okay.
So
okay. Yeah, I just didn't read the label. I'm sorry. This other lady has a question, so
it's not too bad.
I don't know if you can see that or not, but
it doesn't matter. I know what it is. I'll look it up.
It's like 0, 0, and 0, and 0, and 0, and then 1 gram of fat.
The cool part is you don't get a response from it.
This is instead of the whipping cream, right?
Yep.
Instead of your heavy whipping cream, yes.
Because those of us that are so insulin resistant, or some of us have a reaction to dairy, who knows, but my body's rejecting it. So I had to cut out the cream. Was the only thing, my little treat that I had left. So it was easy to depict what my problem was. So when I cut that out, my glucose is totally different. My numbers are better. What you got, Bug? Jump in.
I see everybody kind of like grinning about all the fat, but I promise you, when you get to that stage today, we got home from church I went home and changed and did some stuff outside, and I got to Tammy's and I was like, oh my gosh, I do not know what is wrong with me. I am starving. And I sat with pork rinds and cream cheese and butter and just sat there and dipped them in the sauce, the pork rinds in the sauce. And it was probably like a minute or two. And I instantly just, I felt better. And I'm one of those people that I'm not a good tracker. I forget. I do one meal a day. I don't track all the time. And with starting to track again, I was having like maybe 15 grams of fat, maybe. And that's,
Nowhere near enough.
I'm supposed to have 175. So now that I'm doing that, it is a game changer. It does really bring that energy level back up. And it's kind of scary to think, oh, that's a lot of fat that you have to eat. But once you're in it and you start eating that, you don't want to stop, because you do feel so much better. As crazy as it sounds to, oh God, that's a whole lot of butter. That's a stick and a half of butter to try to eat in a day. You can get it in other ways through the butter, the MCT. I mean, you start eating it and then you don't want to stop because you do feel better with it.
And I want to bring up too that we're at a point where I know Bug has reached pretty close to her goals. I know I have. This is a spot when you have reached your goals. I think the process right now, if you want to lose the weight, you still need to, we did the process to lose the weight. We did the process to heal everything. Now we're at a point where our body is asking for another change. And that's where we have to be able to change and roll with what our body needs right now. So
yeah.
Once you change it from that carb burner, sugar burner over to a fat burner, you got to make sure you give it fat. You got to make sure you give your body fuel.
That's the fuel. Just a cute thing that happened today. We get to church and I have my 2 grandkids with me, and Bug, which is my daughter-in-law, the kids' mom. And we go walking in, and Barb, it was so cute. Karen says, she's, oh, is this your 3 kids? And I'm like, yeah, but it's my 2 little ones and 1 big one. And Bug is so tiny because she's only like 5 foot tall, but she's lost. She looks like a 10-year-old, standing beside my granddaughter. So it's just cute. But when you see that chemistry shift changing, just what she wants to be called, a 10-year-old. But when you see that chemistry shift changing, I'm obviously not there, but he's got built, his dad's got there, his dad is 82 and has that same feeling. Tim and Kim are 2 different people than they used to be, but their chemistry is, Virginia, I think you've already reached your weight goals too, haven't you? And Sue, I think I see Sue on here. Sue, can you jump in for a minute? If you can hear me, okay?
I can. I turned off my video because I was in the car.
Hey, I just want to say, everybody, Sue is just getting home from Iowa.
Pella.
She was at Pella with Dr. Boz this weekend on the Brains Course Live. So tell us a little bit, Sue, fill us in.
Actually, I live in Des Moines, Iowa. So I was only an hour away from her. So we stayed at
you.
Well, we're all coming to your house next time because I couldn't find a hotel.
We drove in each morning. But no, I mean, it was amazing. I felt like a groupie. I went up to her and I go, can you sign my books, all 3? So, but yes, oh my gosh, she's wonderful. Even after the event was over, they basically kicked us out of the room. And so we went across the hall and sat in the restaurant, which it wasn't even open, but we sat in there and she sat for, I don't know what, another 2 hours answering questions.
Yeah.
Because the course was the brains course.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just geared towards brains, but she spent another 2 hours talking to everybody about keto then that was interested. And so, she more than gave her time up for this.
She's so gracious. And just so anybody, if you haven't done the brains course, there's no accident Dr. Boz teaches the keto course and the brains course, because the 2 go hand in hand. The brains course is going to solidify and keep your keto journey on track. The keto journey is going to heal your brain. So you need both of them eventually to get things moving and stay long-term. That's what makes a lifestyle and not just a fad diet. You know, that's the difference of what we're doing different than other keto programs out there. But Sue, congratulations. I'm so glad you got to do that. It's awesome for you. Dr. Boz is such a gracious teacher.
This is my second time through the course.
Yeah.
I actually, a group of us took the course the first time through. And I was one of those people saying, man, she's in Pella, Iowa. It's so close. I really want to meet her. But do I really want to take the brains course again? And I was like, you know what? It's free. It's fine.
Yep.
I learned, I sat there in the course and I drug Mark along with me. And we literally sat there and I took notes on top of what I learned last time, because every time you take any one of her courses, you learn something new every time.
Yep.
So it was great. I loved it.
Good job.
And-
Thanks for sharing, Sue. That's awesome. We love it. I've always said the same thing with the brains. There's some of these classes on those modules I've probably listened and taught 20 to 25 times. I mean, I've been teaching it for over a year, and I will tell you, every time I listen to them, I learn something new. That it just, something will resonate different. You'll be able to think of somebody that'll come to mind that you can help with it. There is so much in that course that you can't even give it justification to make it sound like how much it helps for everybody, whether it's a youth leader, you know, it's our kids, it's a pastor, it's a coach, it's a counselor. Everybody can learn from this brains course. So I just really, really love it. But
Good deal.
thanks, Sue. We love it. Safe travels. We're glad you're back at it. So.
Oh yeah, I'm back on course. I'm starting my fifth week, I think, of 72-hour fast.
Nice.
Good deal.
Good job.
And I want to bring up one point with this experiment that I'm doing, or that we're doing now. This will be the first fast that I didn't have my sardines and bacon before the fast, but I am just as full as if I did this round. So just so you know, the fat is very important. That fat ratio that you need to have. Just make sure you're tracking, the importance of knowing what you're putting in your mouth and knowing how much you're getting, where you need to be, and the results you want to go for. You got to track everything. We made the mistake of not tracking enough, and that got us to the point where we're at. But now we're tracking everything all the time, and it makes it so much easier. So,
and it's a good thing to help you. So it's not us just butting heads with each other. It's, you know, your chemistry, I know my chemistry, and it's not a one size fits all. This isn't a cookie cutter program. You know, this is what's affecting you and what's affecting me. And we got to hold each other. That's where we help each other. That's
Absolutely.
where we push. And
there's so much difference right here. We eat the same thing, and what we were eating wasn't filling me up. She'd be done, and I'm still full, I'm still hungry. So that was one sign. The other sign was the my ketones and my glucose.
Yeah.
When we were tracking during our fast, I was having a hard time making ketones.
but his protein was way too high.
My protein was way too high, so my body wasn't making ketones. Now that my fat came up, I hit my lowest Dr. Boz ratio last fast of a 20. So that was really good for me. But I had plenty of energy. So just know that fat is going to be important down the road.
And we are, like I said, we're at the advanced end. So we are starting our 72 today with Bug. And I know some others that start our 72 today.
Mary.
So we're going to Virginia. You started today too. So we're all going to start and move forward in that. Just, I want the advanced people to know, make sure your fats are up, because we kind of learned that lesson the hard way.
Fats and minerals.
Fats,
Tim
minerals.
and Kim start today also.
Good.
All right.
Yay.
72-hour. I'll never catch her, but I'm joining her.
You're
Hey.
going to run into the same thing that I did.
You're running up.
You answered all my questions, Lance. I know where to get to now and what I've got to get back on more fats. I'm overloading on protein.
Yep. You start cutting out the protein, get that fat ratio up, that protein ratio down, and you'll find a better balance. You'll find good energy. You'll find you'll be full.
Just a mindset too, of a way to look at it. I think I always said that wrong. Eat the protein, add the fat. I think I need to reverse that.
Yes.
Eat the fat, add the little bit of protein. Because when you get that much fat in you, you can't overeat on protein because you're so damn full, you can't get anything else in you.
Oh my goodness.
So it's kind of a plan on that fat has to get in you first. Then you can add that little bit of protein. And I think it's helping us understand that shift a little bit better. So hang in there, guys, but you can do it. So let's check in. Who do we have? Who wants to jump in and tell us how your week's going, a win or a fail, or what we can help you with? Mary Kay, you want to go?
Yeah, I want to ask a question along that line. Does it make sense on Chronometer that if we have weight to lose, I have at least 30 to 35 pounds, which is maybe why my fat is at 100 and why my protein is at 51? Does
Right.
that make sense? And you have reached your goals, so your fat is much higher
My
and
fat
your
will go up.
protein's a little higher, but still not.
Right. My protein ratio didn't change much as my weight came down. My fat went up. And that is so I can sustain where I'm at. If I want to lose weight, if I want to lose some more weight, I stick with the same protein and I'll back off on my fat a little bit. That will pour more fat away from wherever I might have it stored. I'm getting to the point I'm pretty lean right now. I don't know if I want to go much lower. Because somebody keeps telling me I looking too skinny. But you are correct. I think that's the way that game is played.
Okay, because when you sign in and you set everything else, you do tell them what your current weight is. You do tell them your height, your activity level,
And you can go to that part where it asks you how, we go rigorous
right. Yeah.
on that. And then what's your goal of, do you want to lose a pound a week or whatever? So you can
Put your
fluctuate that
goal in
sliding
there.
scale a little bit in there, but it's individual for each person. And that's
Well,
where
that's why I say everybody's numbers are going to be
Yeah.
totally different.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Depending on weight, how much weight they have to lose, how
And
tall
the other
they
thing
are,
that's
how
going to make it
active.
fluctuate is those of us that have the fit trackers. So some people, I don't like my fit tracker linked to it because I don't want it to give me extra credit for burning some fat.
Right.
I want to I don't care if I ran 10 miles today, that I got enough storage. It needs to come off my butt, not off my ingest. I don't want it to raise my numbers to have me ingest more because I worked out today.
Yeah.
So
Agreed.
I don't like it to just like that. But those of you that have reached your goals, Bug and Lance, they're going to have to make sure they stay linked to it because it's nothing when he's back at work for him to run 22,000 steps a day. Bug's the same way. She'll come home with 25,000 steps. She was in the hospital up and down floors. It was nothing to come home with 25,000 steps. That's not a little bit. That's a lot of energy and fuel that you're needing. So those kind of people that have that kind of activity, they're going to have to up those fats and listen to Chronometer. So you want your Fitbits or your Apple Watches and stuff linked to it. So you're getting that. Those of us, I think people like me still have the leeway of, I don't want to track that close yet. I want it to be using my body, not be giving me extra credit because I worked out today. So,
in Chronometer, you can turn that off.
yes.
There's a section where it won't track exercise at all unless you put it in too.
Yep.
I found that. Yeah.
Yep. And I don't want it tracking me right now. I want it to be burning, keep my ratios and my numbers. So it's looking for my butt and using it for fuel. So
But good question, Mary. That was a good question.
yeah, very good. Barb, check in. Tell me how your week's going, hon. I know I didn't talk to you this week. We need to get together this week.
Going good. I'm I think it's 3 weeks now. It's 3 weeks tomorrow.
Cool.
And I'm down 13 pounds,
Yes.
but I've never gotten into ketosis.
That's
It's
okay.
okay.
You're peeing some inflammation right now. So we're going to,
Okay. Cause I'm still not even pink yet, but
Patience.
I feel good. I feel great actually. And I'm sleeping so much better. That's one of the huge things that I've noticed. So that's really exciting. So that's about where I'm at. Doing good. I'm trying to figure out how to decrease my proteins, just looking back through my things. And I did change my weight in my Chronometer, but it didn't change like the amount of, things, the numbers as far as how many fats and all of that. Shouldn't that change don't know if
That
I'm
will
doing
change
something wrong.
as your weight adjusts and stuff like that. That should change a little bit, but we'll go over your
Yeah.
chronometer when we do your, let's do a consult this week and get
Okay,
you on
sounds good.
track.
But I'm great. I'm super excited. I'm thrilled so far.
Good. And being 3 weeks in, anybody that's at that level, just know you're still building that foundation. We really don't want you pushing totally yet.
Absolutely.
Some people are blessed that could go that quick and say, that's why I said on the time frame, my body never kicked in as fast as Dr. Boz taught, day 6, you should be peeing pink or whatever day it was, I forget. But my body didn't do that. And my body just really struggled. So that's where I really don't mind taking a little bit longer building that foundation at the first few weeks. Then we're going to once we get the steamroller moving, then it kind of gets going faster and faster and it gets easier and easier. So
Okay.
Good job, Barb. Stay tight. Let's
Thanks.
talk tomorrow and see what time when you're free.
And-
Okay, sounds good.
And just
I'm free most of
remember,
the time.
and just remember too, this is a journey for you.
Yeah.
The only person you're in competition with is you. That's it.
That's it.
No-
That's
nobody's
right.
going to be the same chemistry. You're not going to change the same time. Just roll with it as you can. Start learning your body and listening to your body. It's the
Okay.
biggest key.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Yes. Janet, you want to jump in next on? Tell us how your week's going.
Week's going good. The chemistry kicked in. I had a real easy 72-hour fast last week. Really, I was amazed. I was so happy. I felt like I had won a prize.
Yeah.
And I finally understood what you've been saying about the chemistry switch, about eating enough fat and suppressing the appetite while I wasn't hungry. But I really appreciated, Lance, what you said, because I'm thinking that as I start to lose weight and go down different increments, that can change too. So I won't be as afraid. I'll be aware as I lose my weight. I dropped another 4 pounds.
Awesome.
I'm in my second day of the 72-hour. I'm feeling good. I've done the minerals. I also did the ketos in a can, just 16-ounce water, 1 scoop, and I sip on that in a couple of days. And like yesterday, I sipped the same bottle today. So I just added that, and I too spiked with the elemental blood sugar. So I may take a dose of that, and I add some potassium drops, which I have, and magnesium drops to my water, just as a backup. For some reason, my body depletes that really fast. I've learned over the course of things. So I'm glad to be here. I'm glad everybody's here with me. One big happy family. Like I always said, I tried this alone, but the group is the glue. I have done, I don't know what goes on in this transition, but being in the group has made a huge difference in terms of me being motivated, being more aware of myself. It's just a camaraderie. I don't understand it, but it's working for me. So I'm here and I will be here.
Good for you.
Thank you.
First, I want to say, first of all, 2 things. First of all, you did win the prize. As that chemistry shifts and you make it through that 72, realize that knowing that your chemistry is carrying you, that is the beauty. When we say your chemistry is stable and ready, it will carry you through that 72-hour fast. It's not a white knuckle grin and bear it. It's a mind game because you're breaking old habits, but it's not god awful. It is just not that. So good for you. You did win the prize. That's the prize, as your chemistry is going. So good for you. Second thing, when she's talking about the group, we all have been there. We have all said that. I'm the most anti-backwards, anti-social person there is. I struggled going live. I struggled with doing outside my little bubble of people. I struggled so bad. And Dr. Boz is right. Mirror neurons is where it's at. That's why we're called mirror neurons in her group. It's that important. Talking with like-minded people, being with like-minded people. We all have better things to be doing. My house is a disaster. I've got laundry to do. I need to work tomorrow. There's a million things we all need to be doing, but you know what? My health's the priority now. And this is important. And as much as we all hate it, we all have better things to do. This is what's going to heal our brains for the long run. So I applaud you for showing up, and we thank you because we all hate to take the time out, but we need it. And it's I think part of this journey is learning to love ourselves. And we're all saying this because most of us here are probably all caregivers. Loving ourselves as much as we love everybody around us. And I'm the first one to say it's hard to do. I will give every ounce of everything I have to everybody around me, but it is hard to make yourself a priority to say, I'm going to take care of me now. And showing up, doing the work, staying committed is the work for us, but we love it now, so you guys, we've all become family here. We're all on this journey together. So, okay, Jill, I know you're struggling, so come in and jump in and tell us what's going on, Jill. How can we help you over the hump? She's too laid back right now.
I just need to step back and get back into it. I just have not tracked. I was just looking. It's been a month since I've tracked, so that tells you right there that I'm not on track.
Yeah. Yep. Jump back in.
I feel like I'm eating. I'm not. I've gone to 2 meals a day where I was going 1. I was most comfortable at 1, and then I was at 48 hours, and I was comfortable at that. I don't know why I did what I did. I have no idea.
The beauty of it is you wake up tomorrow, make a decision for yourself, and jump right back in. You don't need to wait. You don't need to cross go. Just start. And that's all you got to do. Doesn't matter where you start. Figure out where on keto continuum, where was the last place you did well? Where was the last place you were comfortable? Go back to there. If that's 1 meal a day, 2 meals a day, wherever, go to 2 meals a day, get 2 healthy, good, clean meals in you a day. Outside that eating window, stay clean. Practice that for a week. Stay there. That's fine. Good job. You can do it. Jump in. Let me know if I can help you, Jill.
Okay.
All right. Virginia, you want to come in and tell us how your week's going?
Well, I'm at my goal weight, but I think I'm like you guys. I'm not eating enough fat. And my 72-hour fast last week was a struggle. And when I broke it with Braunschweiger, like 2 ounces with some mustard and some mayo, my homemade avocado mayo. And then a half hour later, I had something else. And then a half hour later, I had something else. And a half hour later, I had something else. Well, like 4 hours later, I was finally full.
Right.
And then I gained 3 pounds overnight. So I mean, I needed to have fat, and I wanted keto ice cream, and I wanted keto candy bars, and I wanted all this stuff that I don't have in the house.
Nope.
But that's what I was craving. And so, and I said, no, this is not good. And I didn't really track, and but I kept stuffing my face.
Yep.
So I'm gonna. I need you guys. This is like Janet said,
we need everybody.
We all need each other. That's where she's talking about. We all need our tribe.
That's right. So, but I will start tracking again tomorrow. Today I was really good. I had salmon, but I think I had too much. I think probably 8-ounce pieces of grilled salmon, and a spinach salad made with the dressing was bacon grease. Heated in the microwave, so it was a wilted spinach salad.
Nice.
Bacon grease.
That was so good.
That's good.
And a little sprinkle of balsamic, a little spray, which is, like a tablespoon has 2 carbs, but it's anyhow. But that was a really good little salad that I had. But even when I was just tracking while y'all were talking, I said, I only got like 30 grams of fat, because even with the salmon and the skin, it wasn't that much fat.
I bet you, even if most of us veterans are on here, I bet you if every one of us really honestly tracked right now, we'd be under.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have a little shot glass of avocado oil with my nighttime pills before I go.
Everybody give us a picture of a little shot glass of oil for our nightcap.
I can drink a little, a couple of tablespoons of avocado oil, because I take a vitamin B1 shot at nighttime. For my neuropathy, it's benphotamine or something like that. Mm-hmm. And you're supposed to take it with some kind of meal, and I don't, but I take it with a tablespoon of avocado oil because it helps the absorption. So I don't have any trouble swallowing oil like that. I can do the same thing with coconut oil. I don't like olive oil because it's just it stings the peppery taste. I don't like that.
Polyphenols in it.
Yep.
We were just
so
talking
I can do avocado oil.
Yep. Get it in you. And I think it is one thing though to keep in mind to any of our newbies. Go easy on the fat. When we're saying you need to get that 1/4 cup in you, Don't go drink it at one time.
Oh,
Your
no, not
body
at
ain't
one
ready.
time. You'll be in the bathroom all night.
Yeah,
You-
boy.
And you'll get a bellyache. I know my poor daughter-in-law, at the beginning, I'm like, you need to get some more fat in you. And she was really below, and this was early on. So she wasn't fat adapted yet or anything. And we were still learning the chemistry and how to figure it out. And I'm like, I got coconut oil in there. Go, just go. And she chugged something. Oh my gosh, she was so
Not
sick.
good.
So it's getting your body fat adapted and getting that process going.
Yeah.
So we've all made those mistakes and learned from them. But I'm saying that as everybody, once you're fat adapted, once you're down that aisle, you got to get that fat in you. You got to keep it going. And something, even with the MCT, is why Dr. Boss says, lick the spoon. It's literally one capsule till your body can handle it. We'll get your gut healed. We'll get you there, but you got to
Oh,
go.
yeah,
there.
you can't have too much. I mean,
Too
you
much
can have
at
too
one
much
time.
easily at one time. You have to be careful.
Yep. All right. Thanks, Virginia, for jumping in, hon.
Thank you. So thanks for all these lessons. I'm gonna learn a lot more in the next hour, I'm sure.
We're going to
Thanks,
try.
everybody.
We're going to keep going. All right. Melanie, you want to jump in? Tell us how you're doing.
Um,
That's a long
We got
yeah,
it.
yeah.
We got
Well, yeah, well, I fell off the wagon a couple of weeks ago and I didn't get back on. So I'm here. That my success is that I'm here.
That's one.
And
Yep.
and I have a plan now. All of the talk about the fat, it's like that's what, because I didn't really have a plan about how I was gonna get back on. So yeah, eating more fat. I mean, I'll sit down and just eat butter. I mean, I have homemade raw milk butter because that's what we do.
Yep. We do.
And so I'm like, I really like that stuff. So, just sit down and just kind of a little nibble here and a little nibble there and get through the day without eating the carbs. Cause I'm at the beginning still. So
Go back to whatever level. And if that's even, number one, if you're eating every 2 to 4 hours, go back to where you were successful.
Yeah.
Are you anywhere near under 20 carbs a day?
no.
Okay. Then
No.
let's get
So I'm always pretty much at 2 meals a day because I always have eaten 2 meals a day. But yeah, it's the problem with the carbs. So I've got to get past, once I lose the ketosis, then it's like the craving all the time. So I mean, you warned me 2 weeks ago. So
you know what you might try though? Let's all try this week, putting the fat in first.
exactly. Yeah.
Get those
So,
fats in you, then I bet you that's going to help you tone down the carbs because you're not going to have room for them.
yeah, and staying home. I need to stay home as long as I don't go. I don't have carbs at home. Well, I have milk now. I've been kind of unfortunately started drinking milk again, so I need to stop that. But yeah, I don't really have carbs at home, so I just have to stay home. And yeah, I think instead of having my usual breakfast, having a few nibbles of butter and pushing as far as I can before I do eat, because I tend to overeat. Just especially when I've messed up, it's hard. It's a mental battle with me. It is always the mental battle. So
you're not alone. You're not alone. I mean, I'm going through a mental battle right now because I was able to eat all the meat that I could eat, and she would make me happy doing so, like she used to say.
That was my bribe.
Not
when we
anymore.
first started, is I said I will feed you all the meat and fat that I
So
can fill you up.
now it's only all the fat that I could eat.
yeah, so I'm hanging in there. I mean, I've had all those kind of thoughts of like, well, I'm just going to quit because I'm a failure at this. And it was like, nope. I'm going to support group and I can do this.
You can do
yes,
this.
you can.
You've got a whole family sitting here staring at you, pulling you along and cheering you on. So you can do this. We're all in this with you. Doesn't matter.
I'm looking at the small changes that I've made. I mean, there's certain things that I don't do anymore. I don't think I could really ever go back to as bad as I was with the amount of carbs that I ate. But yeah, so there have been improvements, and I need to be reminded of that. I need to come to group, and I can do this.
Don't forget where you started from.
Oh yeah.
Don't ever forget where you started from, because you look at how many accomplishments you've made. Even as long as your journey is, you got to remember where you started from, and then it'll put everything in perspective, and then you can keep going that one more step. When you're ready to take that next step, you can go one more step. You can do it.
Yep.
And I think I can get there where you were last time. You were telling me, Tammy, that it's like you get to that point where it's just like, I'm not going through this withdrawal one more time. I'm just not going to do it.
Absolutely.
And I'm getting closer to that.
Yeah.
And yeah, and it'll
You'll
be
get
there.
tired of it sooner or later.
One day it'll be there. As long as I keep putting one foot in front of the other, one day it'll be there.
Right.
And you will. You'll get tired of that yucky feeling. You're going to get
Yeah.
tired of, I've done it too many damn times and I feel like crap. And
Yep.
then it just becomes easy. And now that's why we all, me, Lance, Bug, we can all sit and kind of laugh about it. It's like, I don't even want that. Like that would just, we know what it's going to make us feel like. And it's so easy now to just kind of laugh it off, that it doesn't eat at us like it used to, literally. Like it would just.
Oh yeah, it'd just be constant,
The kids eat,
mental
the
thing.
kids want ramen noodles and they'd be like, oh my gosh, I smell something. I'm like, no, they're kind of gross.
That's nasty.
They're kind of
Yeah.
gross.
Trying to get to that where it's like really gross. Yeah. So my goal for next week would be that I can keep my carbs under 20 for the week. So that's what I'm working on.
Fats high, carbs under 20. If you can get that, we'll see you next week. See how you're doing.
Basics.
Yep.
Good job. Thanks, Melanie. Thanks for jumping in. Kim and Tim, come and be my rock stars. Fill us in. Look how beautiful
Look
they
at,
both
they're
look.
out on the porch underneath the
Just-
lights, chilling.
We're out poolside.
Nice.
Nice.
Uh,
We're coming to your house.
Well, I'm pretty excited this week. I hadn't been on the scales for a long time. I've just been OMAD and kind of maintaining, and I had gotten through 48-hour fast, and I got on the scales, and I'm within 10 pounds of reaching what I have set as my goal weight of being 170 pounds. That's 104.
Tell us where you started.
I started at 308 pounds. I've lost 128 pounds now since basically probably July of last year.
That's amazing.
And it's not even been a year, and I'm going to reach my goal evidently here pretty soon. And I've just got to adjust my fats now and my protein. Since I've listened in tonight, I realize what I'm doing wrong. I'm way too heavy on the proteins, and I've got a little bit of arthritis pain back in the knuckles, and that had all gone away. So I'm like, I'm doing something wrong. I got to adjust. So I'm in my first 72-hour fast with Kim this week. I'm on it right now, and I'll maintain with her, and she's doing great.
Just remember too, if you want to, if there's a little bit, if you still want to hit that goal weight, when you track your proteins and your fats, if you don't reach your fat goal as much, keep your proteins down. But if you don't go up to your fat goal, you'll burn that little extra that you want. You can play with that. Just don't go over on your protein.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Got you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Problem is, we're not good at tracking. He needs me to track for him, and I'm a terrible tracker. So
Oh.
I can't even do mine. He wants me to do his.
Yeah.
And again,
Practice makes perfect.
yeah. And it's one of those things that is one of the reasons we eat so simple, because I
I'm
don't have
serious.
to keep tracking it. We figure it out. And
Last
it's like, okay.
last week when we were going through that, when we were talking about this and going through that, I actually got out the food scale and I'm weighing my food.
Yeah.
And
It got
really
down to,
do.
and I never do that. I mean, and just to the point of, no, I'm tired of being hungry.
But you figure it out. That's where chronometer is just beautiful, because once you figure it out, now it's rinse and repeat.
Oh, I'm like stupid full tonight. I was like, oh God.
It's like I'm old school, and I have a smartphone, and old school and smartphone don't go together.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm old school too, so I'm with you. Totally with you. Hey, like Kim, you want to jump in, or are you doing okay?
I'm doing okay, but as I've told you, I'm a snackaholic. That's always been my problem. It's summertime, and this is the basic time that I like to snack, in the evening. Wintertime, I didn't have an issue because 5 o'clock, it's dark. I'm in bed. I don't have to worry about it. But I've got to go back and redo the brain course. I know, like you've told me, it's just adjusting because I don't need it.
Yep.
It's just my telling myself I want it, you know, and I know I don't need it.
And that's so common, Kim. Just don't beat yourself up on it. I know most of us that have dealt with emotional issues and hormones and all those kind of things, those ups and downs, one season might be like summer might be harder for you. Now I find summer easier because I'm busy. I can throw the meat on the grill, but I struggle sitting around the house with my office being in the house. It's harder in the winter. You know, I stay busier in the summer because I don't like to leave the house in the winter. Summer may be more family functions and things like that to where it's harder for you, but you'll learn those seasons, and then we're going to find ways to help you around through those rough seasons. And sometimes you may just need to idle through that rough season, but you're going to learn more things as that brain stuff kicks in. That's why the brains course is so important, to just keep learning, keep doing those left-hand loops, keep doing rope, building that new neural pathway, thinking of something when your favorite dish is pie or whatever. Like we had our pie this Easter. That pie next year, when that pie is sitting on
Oh
the
God,
counter,
that made me sick. Oh,
we both wanted that piece
I'll
of pie
never
from
forget that.
Hurtville Kitchen.
No.
We wanted that homemade
Yeah.
Amish pie, and we each had a sliver. And within a half hour, we were both sick. We were both woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning with a headache. It was awful. There is no part of me that wants a piece of that pie next time.
Nope. And nothing against their pie. I mean, they have fabulous pie, just not for me.
It's just not what we can put in our chemistry. And now it's out of the brain. Now it's done whatever it did. You know, last 2 years we've ate it. You know, it was our treat. We'd eat a piece of it and be like, yeah, we'll get back on this week.
So the thing is, the snacks don't even taste as good as they used to.
Nope.
Right.
If I
Exactly.
get into it, they don't.
Nope.
It's just not there. Yeah.
That's the cool part. That means your microbiome and your taste buds are changing. So it's not the thrill it used to be. You know, what you used to feel so good when you had something won't be that thrill anymore, which means that neural pathway in the brain, that dopamine response in the brain that we used to get from the chocolate and the sugar and the caramel and all of those treats, we don't get that anymore.
Yep.
And then when you stop stimulating that, it's the same thing as an alcoholic with a glass of wine. If you're not stimulating it anymore, that decreases and will get easier and easier. Same thing with me with my Oxycontin. As I dropped down the milligrams in it and I withdrew from those milligrams, there is no way in the world I wanted to put an Oxycontin back in me. Once I went through that withdrawal, I would not go back up on those milligrams. I told him, unless I'm dying or seizing, don't up my milligrams. Once I came through that, I don't care how sick I got. And I made him promise me, because I did not want to go back through that again, no matter how sick I was. And we didn't go backwards. Once we started decreasing, now if I got so sick that I couldn't handle it, I would stop for a minute. And it's the same thing with your food. If you're getting so withdrawn or so aggravated, upset, whatever, that you can't withdraw through this section of carbs or whatever you're working on, then stop and figure out what you're stressing over. Is this an emotional response? Are you lonely? Are you stressed? Are you whatever?
Which all may be valid points as well.
And you're going to work through what is the problem? What is your stumbling block? You're going to work through that. And then next time it won't be a problem. So good job, Kim. You got this. You can do it.
Thank you.
Miss Sandy, I'm so glad you made it, hon. Do you want to jump in and tell us how you're doing?
I gotta really zero in on the fact that there's so many things that are right and good.
Yes.
I do have a couple of challenges with the food right now, and it's not wanting to eat something that wouldn't fit in. I was just trying to open the window up a little bit, and that's kind of hard. Or at least it's hard right now. I went ahead and had some protein and salt and minerals early on today. And then about the time that I thought I should, you know, have another small portion of protein, not because I'm trying for small, but because I don't have the appetite. And I went ahead and ate, but I wasn't really hungry. And it was after I had a few bites that I realized that because I wasn't hungry, I should have just waited. And if the hunger didn't come before the window should closed, just skip it, I guess.
Now, just know, Sandy, I know you struggle with not being hungry. So I want to make sure you're using a calendar and marking the days that you know you're fasting and the days that you know you're refeeding. Now, if you get to your eating window and it's opened up and you're not hungry, then just go to OMAD, as long as you're getting that 1 meal a day on your feeding days. So you want to make sure on your feeding days, you're getting those the minerals and all of that in you on your feeding days. Then on your fasting days,
Make sure it's the right ratio of fat to protein as well.
Right. Well, I'm not fasting at this point.
okay.
I was
That's
just
good.
pretty much at the 1 meal a day.
And if you
But
can
even-
hold it that through the next week, I know you got some big stressors coming up. Hold
Perfect.
it, just hold tight at your OMAD, or even on the family days. If you have to open that eating window up and eat 2 little things a day, 2 little meals or something, do that. Don't stress yourself through this season right now. You just stay where you can stay consistent and strong.
Yeah. Well, I've had 2 times this past week where I have overindulged in a food that's not necessarily wrong for me, but I was compulsive about it and ate too much. And
We won't give you a failing grade or anything for that, so don't worry.
well, thank you. That's when the old tapes kind of jump in. But they don't have the power they had before.
Good.
Good. That means your brain's healing.
And that's where you don't beat yourself up over it either, because you realize that that doesn't have the hold on you that it used to. Yeah, you may have had that one episode and you did it. Yep, I did it. Okay, I'll take responsibility for it, but it doesn't have the hold on me anymore like it used to. So give yourselves a kudos for that. Yeah, you went and did it, but it still doesn't have its hold over you, because I can break that. I've broken that and I'm still moving on. So don't beat yourself up.
Okay. Well, eons ago, not really. If I had ate something like that, it would be like, okay, well, I've done that. No holds barred. I can pick out something really decadent.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's nice that that's not happening.
Good for you.
I think, Sandy, for you is really just learning and trusting that you control it now. Hi, sis. That you control it now, that you know how to read your chemistry, and those habits aren't taking over anymore. Those impulses aren't taking over anymore. You're controlling it. So it's a season of life right now. You got big stuff coming up. You stay strong through it at whatever level that needs to be, and don't beat yourself up about it. You're fine. You're doing great. Your numbers are good. Your body is great. Your chemistry is amazing. Sit in that confidence and do not waver because of a stressor coming to you in the next week or 2. Okay. Just you stay strong. You have a whole family right here helping you that's going to pull you along, and we're all in this together. You're not alone, and you can do this.
Okay, now, thank you. When I decide to eat for the first time during the day, I woke up and I was hungry, but it doesn't take but a few bites and I'm not. And I know I've mentioned that before, and I really don't know where to go with that. I want to get enough nourishment.
Just make sure whatever those few bites going in you are high density nutrition foods.
Yeah.
So whether it's the liver, whether it's some good eggs, whether it's, some good burger, I wouldn't be doing, if you're only getting a couple bites, don't let it be a crappy meat stick. A meat stick has its time and place, but if that's the nutrition, yeah, as long as you're getting good nutrition and good healthy fats in quality, if that's all that's going in you because you're not that hungry, then you're fine. As long as you're getting nutrition in you.
Make the bites count.
Yeah. Everyone.
Okay. Well, I had country style pork spare rib, and which is it was about half fat and half meat.
Mhm.
So there was plenty of fat there,
Good.
but I did eat more of it than I really wanted. So
Did-
I guess I have permission just to eat only what my body wants.
Eat what your body wants, but I know you didn't jump in early on here. The first beginning of this, we were talking about making sure you're getting enough fat in you.
Mhm.
Not enough
Yeah,
to make you sick.
Yeah,
Yeah,
don't go extreme.
Yeah, you guys were talking about that, but I didn't know it was the advanced group, so I didn't.
Oh, that's fine.
You're fine.
Well, what I mean is I could have been on and more involved, and it was like, oh no, I just missed that, and I needed to hear that.
You just, all we're saying is Lance is learning that he's got to put in a whole lot of fat right now to keep his numbers right.
I used to think that I was getting enough fat, and I wasn't getting but a fifth of the fat that I needed. That's 4 tablespoons of avocado oil. That's only 1/5 of what I need per day, if that makes sense.
The visual of that
need
kills
5
me.
of those to make my fat where it needs to be per day, just to fuel my body at the constant rate that I am. So if that gives you any clue.
Yeah.
I think Sandy may have been. I think Sandy is frozen in
Sandy's
time.
frozen. But
Anyway,
all right,
let's
that's all right.
move
We'll
on.
move on. Ruth, come on in. You want to jump in and say hi? Tell us how you're doing. Sandy, if you can refresh your screen, if you can hear us, hon, hit refresh and you might come back.
There's Ruth.
Hi, Ruth.
Hi, how are you?
We're good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I had some questions about starting over. I went to the doctor and he had the vertigo, but when I actually confronted him to sort of in a nice way, sort of ask him, we're talking about inflammation here. What kind of inflammation are you talking about? Is it the kind that's dealing with my legs and stuff like that, or is it? So what it turned out, what he told me was that it was the nerve endings were inflamed, and so those nerve endings were not communicating with the brain, which brings us back to the brain course and what she was saying. And so the exercises that I have to do in reference to that is not the type that if it was a regular vertigo and the room spinning, all that's not what I needed to do. It had to do with having my nerve endings communicate with my brain, which, talking about brain, I go brain like this, say like that was of the brain course in reference to so it made sense. But the mere fact that so anyway, I have to do these exercises, which deals with making my brain understand what my eyes are doing, my stomach is doing, and I have to do these exercises that goes back and forth and so on like that. I say all that to say this, to ask this question. We're going to do the brains course again. You're going to do the brain course again. Mm-hmm. Now, Dr. Boz is talking about the brain course. That's the same one that you're doing this time? Is it going to be the same one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I definitely, like normally we've been saying, you always learn something new, but this is the last thing that I expected to hear. I didn't, this is like the last or anything to hear about my brain versus my inner ear. I'm sorry, I left that part out, the inner ear and my brain. And so that, and he showed me these 2 nerves that were inflamed, in the words, which they called inflammation. So I want to it. So you want to write down the why that gets added to my why, like everyone else. I had a reason, but this now becomes even deeper reason, because I can feel the difference in certain things, and so on and so forth. I'm listening today. I learned a lot. I understand about the fat. I am just going to start Monday with, and I'm right along with Marilyn, or if that was on there, that Marilyn, her name was on there. I'm just right there, her and I, in reference to how I'm thinking about going forward. And so the more I know, the more I understand, the more that happens, and I understand. It makes this I'm more grateful for where I'm at, and the ability to understand what would normally have been, because no one seemed to have been able to place it all together, but except for when I went to the ear, nose, and throat doctor. So again, and stood there and said, I want to know what this inflammation, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, and then he went and gave me a different thing. So anyway, I'm just grateful. That's all. And to listen about the fact and listen about this, I'm just start off and keep going, and thanking.
Well, just know anybody, Ruth.
I also wanted to think of that I was maybe even would go on a one-to-one if it needed to be, because I need to do this,
Absolutely.
if I find out that I might even consider whatever that needs to be done. The other thing is, I was going, because you said that's the same course that she's advertising for now. So,
yep. And
okay.
Those of you that have taken the brains course, always feel free to jump back in and watch with the next incoming group, because you can watch them over and over and over. And I think Wilma, Sue had just said that Wilma was there too. Wilma, I'll come up to you next, but anybody that's done the brains course, there is no way you could comprehend all of it in one viewing. There's just no way. It's too much information. So I welcome you guys to please get on and listen to them over and over and over. That's why I don't take you out of that group at the end of it. Everybody stays in my group, and then you can watch it with each new class coming in. And that's because that is so important, to just keep learning and hearing it over and over. Even those of us, I know Alex is in the medical field, those of us that are in the medical field, and it even makes sense. It is still something that you have to hear over and over to learn to apply it to you at each different level of your life, or your family's life, or your kids' life, or your grandkids' life. All of those things are things that we can do. Taking care of our parents, those are all options and things that we can help at every age level in that. So it's just, that's why I keep the group growing and keep it going in the same direction like that. So I just welcome that. But thanks, Ruth. Wilma, do you want to jump in? I know you were just at Dr. Boz's. Do you want to come and jump in and tell us how you did on the keto or the brains class? Sorry, I can't talk.
Well, it was very educational. I had been through the course a year ago, but it's amazing how much I had forgot, or how things have changed in my life that made sense now that didn't a year ago. So I'm glad I went. I learned a lot, and she was very gracious with her time with us. And she got me started on sardines.
Aha!
You knew she would.
She had a sardine there, and I've been trying to figure out where I can find it in my little town, and I can't.
Oh,
Hey, if she can get those sweet, cute boys of hers on sardines, she can get anybody on sardines, right? I said, if she can get those sweet, cute boys of hers on sardines as kids, she can get anybody on sardines.
After the right flavor. So for the last 3 weeks, I probably have been home 4 days. And so I got to struggling, and it dawned on me last week that while I'm traveling, I'm not getting enough fat. That's keeping me full, and I'm piecing and that kind of stuff. And so now that I'm going to be home for a while, my main goal is to up the fat and get some good fat in me and probably have been getting too much carb creep and protein creep.
Yep.
So I've got to work on that this week.
Good. Well, thanks for jumping in, Willen. I'm so glad you got to go do that with Dr. Boz. It's my goal. I'm going to see her teach this class live sooner or later. I'm going to get there. Couldn't find a darn place to stay. Nothing was falling into place, getting a ticket going in there. So we're just going to go door knocking at Sue's house or something and stay all night next time. But I'm so glad you got to do it. So just what she is saying, though, there is so much information in there. Even those of us that have done it for years, this course is just jam packed. And that's why it's so special. And so glad you got to do it. Again, no accident, but I think it's a common denominator right now of all of the fat issues. Everybody needs to get that fat in you. And one of the things she was saying about struggling while traveling, one of the things we have got it mastered now for traveling, it's almost cheaper when we're on vacation to eat than we eat at home. Because when we eat at home, we have access to the butcher. We go get our good, beautiful ribeyes cut every week. When we're on vacation, I literally pack 20 cans of sardines and just pounds of bacon. And it's
bags
great.
and bags of pork rinds.
So it's one of those, we eat cheaper on the run because I would rather eat where I can control it. I know where my numbers will be. We take that sardines and bacon and travel and eggs and things like the hard-boiled eggs and things like that. And then when we get there and get settled, then I can go pick my favorite restaurant where I know I can control. We went to that big seafood restaurant that brought out a mile high of seafood and lobster and crab legs. And then it was no big deal to go spend $150 on a meal because we've eaten sardines and bacon for 3 days.
Yeah, that or as we're driving, we'll fast while we'll drive.
Yeah.
You know, if it's a 2-day drive or something like that, if we drive down to Florida for, a 17-hour drive, we're fasting. I mean, we ain't stopping for nothing. We'll have our drink and roll on. And then once we get there, we'll figure out when we're going to eat next. But we'll throw in a 24-hour, 36-hour fast just to travel.
It works out good. So you guys are going to all learn to juggle that. You're all going to learn to read your chemistry, but that's the beauty of knowing your chemistry and being able to play that game and know it. So any questions, anybody that we haven't? Alex, you want to jump in? Do you have any questions or anything? Everybody?
Yeah, I guess my goal this week is just a chronometer. Let's just, call it what it is.
Good idea.
I just booked my stuff for Orlando just now. So
are you going to Orlando Summit?
Yeah, so
Yes.
I'm gonna go.
Sweet.
So
anybody else going to Orlando Summit? Keto Summit. I will put the links on the page again, and I got a little discount code for everybody. We'll put on there.
Oh yeah, I forgot to discuss. Yeah, whatever. It's already done, so it doesn't matter. I just did it. Going back to other people's problems, I in terms of inflammation, I just went to a rheumatologist. We're gonna see how that all works out. Keto only solves so much stuff, and I'm not trying to be funny when I say that. Sometimes there is other issues, so I'm just trying to go down the list to make sure that there is nothing else wrong along with this journey. So and I do want to get with you because I've almost sort of convinced my wife to have a one-to-one with you guys. And,
yes.
She's done keto and paleo, and she has her own views on keto and paleo that are, it's all the same. I mean, it's all the same. It's just interchanging some other things, and not that you're going to convince her or not convince her. It's just a matter of getting everybody on the same page. I think that's where it's going to be, because there's the right way, the wrong way, and the way that works for you, as you guys all know. So that's my goal, is to try to stay within the 20 and maybe sort of try to eat sardines.
You gotta get the fat too, though. The fat's where it's at.
Fat.
I'm gonna try the
fat is where it's at.
The what is it? The egg yolks and sardines with cheese, and we'll see if I can.
Well, that'd be good.
If I can cover it all up enough with enough Redmond salt and maybe some hot sauce, it might actually not even
right here, the avocado oil over top of the sardines. That or the bacon grease on top of the sardines is actually really good.
Okay.
Have tried it.
I will take your word for it, and I will try to do it.
You'll like it.
You'll get there, Alex. But
Yeah.
just know,
Again,
and if your wife's paleo or vegetarian or whatever.
No, she's more. No, she's. we didn't get this way by accident. We loved everything that went through our mouth. I'm not gonna lie.
100%.
Exactly.
you.
No, it's just a matter of a mindset, and I think that's the main thing. And
It is, and just
everybody
know,
brings their own sets of baggage. Some have bigger baggage than others. So,
but just know this whole way of eating, this whole way of thinking, this whole way of teaching. I've coached health and nutrition my whole adult life. It went against everything I'd ever been taught, everything I ever believed in. I taught a book called Fit for Life, is what I used to teach. It is a total polar
It ain't that.
There is no fruit in the morning. There is no fruit smoothies that I sent my kids to school with. I was the crazy mom.
I get it.
And so just know, I get it. I get that struggle with understanding that chemistry, because it went against everything I believed in. But here was the thing I said to myself: if what I was doing worked,
Wouldn't be.
I wouldn't be so unhealthy, dying, fat, heart disease, heart failure,
This
neuropathy.
That man.
If all the clean eating and just eating healthy fruits and vegetables would heal my body, I would be Superwoman.
Right, everybody would. And it's funny because
Not everybody, because most people don't eat clean, healthy fruits and vegetables. That's all I ate. We didn't eat crap food. I didn't eat McDonald's. I didn't eat fast
She was like off the deep end, off the chain wise.
and it didn't heal my body. This is the only answer I've ever been given in 20 years that's healed my body. So I get the frustration with your wife or the misunderstanding in it, but you can't lie with the numbers and the.
Well, yeah, no, I haven't been posting for two reasons. One, the obvious reason, but two, I've been waiting on the darn strips for keto.
I know they take forever.
Yes,
to
they
get here.
do. And they
I didn't
ain't
realize I ran out. And I'm like, oh shoot. And then I had the glucose ones, which I never use because I use a different monitor. But anyway, yeah. So I will see you in a couple of weeks or whatever. And
Yes. Let me know how you're doing. Anybody that needs a coaching call this week, I'm going to put just coaching packages up. If people don't want to need to do the class, I realize there's some people that don't need to do the class again. They just need a coaching session. So just let me know if you do. No big deal.
I might need, but I'm going to the summit too. I paid for mine in a month or so.
Well, when we get there, we're all going to look each other up and get our little group picture.
Yeah.
We'll get together. I'll get to meet all of you. So that's going to be awesome. I can't wait. Jill, you got a question?
Yeah, your
Pudding?
egg yolk pudding, is that what it is?
Well, I have egg yolks that we use for the hollandaise sauce, but then we have the eggs in the pudding that we make also.
The
So
egg,
what is the egg yolk pudding?
the egg pudding is
Egg
like
pudding, hard-boiled eggs.
hard-boiled eggs.
Oh, hard boiled.
I'll have Lance tag you in the directions on the page.
Okay.
Okay.
Joe, what's your last?
Shield.
Shield.
Yep. Sandy, do you have a question too, hon?
Yeah,
Lance,
when I froze, I was asking about exactly what Lance was talking about, and when I finally got back in, and so I missed it on both ends. So you were talking about the olive oil on the sardines or something, because I know I'm not getting enough fat.
Yes.
He likes olive oil. He even likes bacon grease poured over the sardines. That's how he gets some of his fat in him.
Bacon grease on top of sardines works really well because it kind of gives that like a smoky type flavor to the sardines, and it works, man. I love bacon, so I could put bacon grease on anything.
And he does. At this point, he's drinking it and flavoring everything's got bacon flavor. Bacon flavor.
Well, for me, it's a real challenge to come up with the bacon grease, being one person in the household, to come up with enough bacon grease.
Yeah.
So
Just
not
know
an excuse.
Nope, not an excuse, but we make a lot of bacon up at one time and then put it in the fridge, or you can even freeze it after you've baked it or cooked it. And then just bring it out as you need it. So it don't go bad, but you'll get a bunch of that bacon grease at one time too. So it makes it a little easier.
Cooking your bacon.
We do it a couple ways. We either bake it in the oven at like 350 for, we just put it in there till it gets the crispiness that you like on a cookie sheet. And then that keeps the grease in there that we can pour all the grease off into a jar. Or we throw it out. We have one of those Blackstone grills.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll throw it on the grill, but then you don't get the bacon grease. So I like doing it in the oven. I just hate the smell in my house. So, but we have put the cookie sheets on the Blackstone before too, but how however works.
It makes such a mess in my oven when I
does.
baked it.
Oh,
I mean, it's
It does.
coated on the sides, so.
If you
I
keep,
know some people take a pound of bacon and put it in strips in a big stock pot
yep,
and basically fry it. And it renders the grease, and then they just pick out they basically deep fry their bacon in its own fat
yep,
and take it off the burner and take the bacon out with a big spider. And then
Yep.
you have and it doesn't, if you use a big enough pot, it doesn't spatter out.
and if
Also,
you're
if you
baking
put-
it, if you're baking it in the oven and you bake it low on a lower temperature, it doesn't splatter as much. So it'll
Okay.
just simmer. It just takes a little bit longer. So you just gotta be a little more patient,
If
but
you
it doesn't
put
make,
if you put a tray, like the cooling tray on the baking sheet, all the fat goes down. And then once it gets warm enough, I mean, cool enough, you can just put it right into a can too.
Show messenger.
Joe,
Yep.
shoot. Let's see.
We air fry our bacon, and
That's
ours
another
is a
good one.
basket. So it makes it really nice. I just pull the bacon out and then take the basket and dump it in the jar with the grease.
We also use a George Foreman too. So
Yep. However, I know everybody's it's a mess, but that's why I like to do 4 or 5 pounds at a time. So it's over with. It's the same way when I make the bone broth. I don't want to make bone broth every month or every other week or anything. So when I do it, I literally use 2 big 20-quart canners and then I freeze it. It freezes perfectly. It's not an issue. And I don't have to make that mess and I don't have to smell it all the time and get my house.
When
full.
you freeze your bacon, how does it keep the crispness?
We eat it cold half the time. So
I don't even
it's-
freeze. No,
if we put it in the freezer, I can pull it out of the freezer and then I just set it in the fridge and we just
we
grab it. And
we
eat it.
freeze it before we cook it.
And then once I cook it, you can freeze it again
Mhm.
and bring it out as you need it. And but we don't eat it I mean, if we're eating it like that, we literally can just grab it out of the bed cold. So it's probably not as crispy as some, I know.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll put it on paper towels in the microwave
That work.
and then just spin it and it comes out just like you just took it out of the oven,
There
good
you
and
go.
crispy if you're just doing a small amount. And
I
then
liked it a little more chewier, but my daughter, every time I burn a batch, I send it home with Bug because she likes it crispy and burnt. So it's like, but that batch is for Bug. Batch is for Bug. I can't talk. But
Are you
So-
guys aware that you can buy bacon grease?
I
you
didn't know
can
that.
buy bacon grease.
I have actually found, it at, I think it was Whole Foods. It's back with the olive oil and the avocado oil. They have ghee, they have,
That's-
Wow.
No, I did not know that.
yeah, they have tallow, they have bacon grease.
Ooh, I like
Nice.
to have some tallow.
Yep. Nice. That's a good thing. We're gonna have to check that out. So thanks, Sue. That's awesome.
Hey, Jill, I just sent you that video in Messenger.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. And anybody that hasn't tried that yet, the egg pudding, if you have kids, it is too stupid simple. It is easy and it is good.
Even
It is
Tim,
lit-
even Tim Catlett likes it.
it is literally 2 dozen eggs. I mean, anywhere from a dozen to 2 dozen. It just depends on how big of a batch you want to make. Throw some coconut cream in there. And I literally maybe use a tablespoon of monk fruit. And that's just because my kids are going to eat it, the little ones, and they want that little bit of sweetness to it. I've used cacao as the chocolate. I've used Dr. Boz BHB, the Dutch chocolate packs. I've used the chocolate LMNTs before for it to flavor it. You can do whatever you want, but you just have to have a good blender. And you just put it in the hard-boiled eggs in the blender and you blend the daylights out of it. It will get that smooth, perfect,
Oh,
creamy
it's almost like
consistency,
whipped cream, man. It's
just
awesome.
like beautiful chocolate pudding. So it's too easy. And you can try with other flavors. I've made an orange flavor with orange extract and vanilla before. I've done chocolate. Some people can get away with like a butterscotch, but you have to use like a little bit of pudding or something with it. And I don't like to add anything extra. So
And that is posted on our group page, Ketosis Done Right, the free
Yep.
free group page. And if you go to the top search, you go to the group first, and then in the search bar up at the top, the little magnifying glass, type in egg pudding, and then you'll get results pop up. First is a picture that we took, And then if you keep scrolling down a little bit further, then you'll come across the video of it. So it's just a picture of our blender with a bunch of eggs in it and some coconut cream and a green can of coconut cream and a Dr. Boz BHB powder sitting next to it.
So it's a good way to get some eggs, some fat in you, and some BHB. So you get some Dr. Boz chocolate with BHB in you too. So that's a good thing.
And it's a nice little treat.
So, yep. Any questions? Anything we missed? I know we're running late here. So anybody have anything that we missed? Anybody have any questions? If not, you know my number, you know my messenger. Get us. If I've missed any messages, please don't hesitate to resend them, because there are
Reach out
days
again,
I'm getting
please.
hundreds of messages and they get pushed down on my feed. If I have missed anybody or forgot anything, do not hesitate to remessage me. Please do. I ask you to help me out just a little bit right now till I get some of these processes streamlined a little bit with the new website and everything. So kind of bear with me and don't be afraid to resend a message and bug me if I
And
forgot.
anybody, if you have any questions, I know even Melanie, if you're struggling or whatever, feel free to reach out. I mean, that's why we're here. No question's ever a stupid question. And everybody just reach out, even the people on Facebook Live. Reach out in the group, ask a question, post a question. That's why we're here. So we love sharing information, and anything we can help you do on your journey, that's what we do.
Everybody have a great week. We love y'all. You know we're here.
Blessings
And
to
let us know
everybody.
how you're doing. Let us
Have a
know how we
blessed
can
week.
help. Have a great week, guys. Love you.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank
Good
you,
night.
guys.
When's the next time we're supposed to meet? I don't know.
We if you want to jump into class tomorrow night, you can jump in class tomorrow night. And Sunday will be next Sunday will be support group again. Brains will be Thursday and Saturday if you want to jump into brains. However many times you want to come.
I'll need some brains Thursday.
I need some brains too.
Thursday, 11 a.m. Eastern. So what do we figure that is for you? 8 a.m. Is that right?
8 o'clock.
8. So we'll see you 8 a.m. Thursday morning at Brains.
All right,
And
guys.
touch base with me for our meeting this week.
What's that?
I don't know how 2 Wednesdays gonna work, but
Why don't you
tell me
guys
when
message?
you're available.
All right. Message me on and we'll get you in tomorrow or get you in this. We'll get you scheduled tomorrow for this week.
Okay.
All right, hon. You
Have
have
a
a
good night.
Good
have a
night, guys.
Bye.